Hello. Today's guide will be covering a customized chat and menu experience. I'll be talking about how to do it and also my personal recommendations to get you set up for a better experience. First, we'll go ahead and customize the chat. I'll hit escape and then edit UI, and as you can see, I have chat 1 turned on and chat 5 turned off. This is a personal preference, and you absolutely can turn on if you want 2 chat windows. For now, I'm going to go ahead and leave on only one. If I put my mouse over the chat window, you can see a cogwheel here that says Chat Window Settings. I have Chat 1 currently selected, but there are 2, 3, and 4 here. We're going to go ahead and hit the cogwheel on Chat 1, and we'll go through some of the settings in my recommendations. The window transparency is how transparent the background is. Honestly, I've always left this just at 50%, but looking at it now, I'm probably going to throw it down to 0 and leave it there. And if I regret that, I can always come back and change it. Font size, same thing. By default, it's normal. I've just left it there. Clicking huge, you can obviously see that makes it unnecessarily large. Clicking tiny makes it pretty darn hard to read. We'll go back to normal. A scroll animation, I would recommend leaving on deactivate, which is the setting by default. When people use emojis in the chat, there is an animation. Personal preference here, you can have it animate or not. I'll leave it on activate, which is the default. If I toggle off and on header, you can see in my chat window, before the message, it will tell you what type of message it is. The ones scrolling on my screen now show group or server messages. All the types are those that are listed here, like guild or whisper. I'll go ahead and just briefly go through all of these. We're going to leave on notice. This will notify us of major issues, upcoming maintenance periods, and reminders for the end of events. You can choose to turn on or off world, but I will leave it off myself. You have to use a Pearl Shop item called a megaphone to chat in here anyway. The server group and chat group I'm going to turn off. Without going into too much detail, these are just groups that you're already in by default. You can go to your menu and type chat group and scroll through all the different chat groups if you really want to join one. There's one for each class, so maybe you chose a class you have questions on. You can try reaching out to other people who play it. This is an MMO that you do end up spending a lot of time by yourself, so maybe I should join a chat group. For now, I'm going to leave it off though. Eventually, you'll probably join a guild and you'll want to see what people are saying, especially if it's a larger guild and they send out messages for upcoming buffs or something. Or if you want a PvP and people are looking for backup. Or maybe people are just curious what guild quests people want to do. Either way, even if you're not in a guild yet, I would recommend just leaving this on for now. Combat you can leave on if you want to know who killed someone in chat. I don't PvP often, so honestly, even if I leave this on, I probably won't see too many messages from this. Party you absolutely want to leave on. Same thing with guilds. Eventually, you'll probably be in a party and you'll want to see what other people are saying. General is essentially proximity chat. This is the chat you would see from someone walking up to you in the open world and saying hello. We'll leave that on and move over to whisper here. Think of this as a direct message. I'll leave this on in case someone wanted to message me directly. Again, you can look in the description for these, but I'm going to turn all these off. For this chat 1 window settings, I'm going to leave off the system, but I will be turning on private item for chat window 2. Once this is looking how you want it, you can hit confirm, and then we can click number 2, and then the cogwheel again, and then by default world is on. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that, and obviously personal preference here, you can set it up however you want, but what I like to do is simply click private item and nothing else. I'll go ahead and hit confirm. So the way that I've set this up is chat window 1, although this is not updated yet. Now that they've been confirmed, these settings will take effect and it will filter out any of these things I've turned off going forward. Chat window 1 will be all of my messages from guild members, party members, or people just in my vicinity. And I can click chat 2 when I kill a monster, for example, and I cheer and I want to know what item I got. Most of the time those items are going to pop up in the middle of your screen, but maybe it was in the middle of fighting and you missed out on what you got. Or perhaps you got more than one item because you opened a box. You can use this chat window too that we've set up to see all of the things you've opened. I don't have anything too exciting to open, but just for example, I'll go ahead and open my inventory and open this costume box. I'll right click it and then click yes, and the costume is listed here. This is a lot more useful, like I said, when you open up a box that has many things inside. It can be useful to click over to your chat too and see everything that you received, especially when you're running around with things that are already in your inventory. You can go over here to chat too and clarify exactly how many of something you receive from that one box. And this goes for pretty much anything that goes into your inventory. I'll choose to claim this XP scroll, for example, and after I hit claim, you can see that it shows up in my system. After you complete a quest, for example, I've received a specific amount of silver and some soft bread. Especially if you're smashing ore very quickly through your quest, you might have missed out on what it was that you actually got as a reward. Those items are now listed here. Again, this is personal preference. This is just how I choose to set up my chat windows. If I hit enter, I can start typing. I'll say hello and press enter. You can see on the bottom left here my message. If you hit enter again to start typing, you can left click general, and this is how you would change to message directly to a group or server chat or someone specifically. Party and guild would show up obviously if I was in one. When you hover over it, you can also see the shortcut to get to that one directly. If I'm in group, for example, I can hit Alt and 1, and now I'm typing in general chat instead. If you have any further questions about chat, like I said, I'll have that link available in the description, and you can actually click chat help here to open up what I've linked right in the game. If you want to pull it up on a second monitor or save it to your bookmarks or something, you can click go to web to bring it up in your browser instead. Next, we'll hit escape, and we'll talk about our menu here. As soon as you hit escape, your menu will show your recently used. Some of mine are redeeming coupon codes in the Black Spirits Adventure board. You'll notice for inventory and escape, there's a yellow pin. If I right click inventory, you'll see that I can remove this menu item or just unpin it. I'll left click unpin. Now if I choose to pin Black Spirits Adventure board by right clicking then left clicking pen, you can see the order has changed. You may want to pin things in a specific order, so I would recommend pinning your most used things first so they show up higher on the list and they'll be accessible by the number listed next to them. If I wanted to access my inventory, for example, pinned at number 2, I can hit escape on my keyboard and hit the number 2. Inventory obviously has its own hotkey being I, so this may not be useful to you. We'll go ahead and open the menu again. I would like to pin my world map. The hotkey, as you may know, for your map is M. If I hit M, I open my world map. If I hit escape, the world map is not listed as a recently used item. This is because I'm using it from the hotkey instead of from the menu. To add something to your recently used, you obviously need to have recently used it. You can click through these categories and try to find what you're after, or you can just search for the term to find it a lot easier. I'll type world map, hit enter, and left click it. The same thing happens if you were to hit M, it opens your world map. I'll hit escape and escape again, and now world map is listed. Only now can I pin it. I'll right click it and pin menu. I won't bore you showing you every single one of these, and we'll just skip to when it's complete. And here we are. Escape is when you're stuck. You can click this, and after a short period of time, you'll essentially be reset and moved to a safer location. This can be useful if your horse went off the side of the cliff and there's no easy way to get back to the road. You can do what's referred to as escape. Hitting escape to open your menu, and then number 1. Inventory and world map are simply just because I have a weird split keyboard and the I and M key are surprisingly far away from my reach. Pit of the Undying I will likely make a guide for in the future, but this is something you should be looking into, and if you play regularly, you should probably do it daily. Red Battlefield is a PvP mode. Adventure Log Bookshelf, often referred to as is journals. Again, something I'll probably make a guide on in the future, is another thing you absolutely should be looking into and completing. This will give you permanent bonuses to all of your characters account-wide. Again, get subscribed and you'll see that video in the future. Monster Zone info to find out where you can grind for specific items, or just figure out what power and toughness are required for certain grind zones. Find Party Platoon to find parties that are looking for additional members to grind a 5-man spot, for example. Black Spirit's Adventure Board, which can also be brought up by clicking the dice if you have one bouncing at the time. However, if I click acquire, that bouncing dice is gone, so it's no longer as easy to get to. Therefore, I've put it on my menu. Redeem coupon code to easily redeem coupons. Make sure you're checking Garmoth.com regularly so you don't miss out on any free rewards. And Black Shrine, which normally is also up here by your season pass and manage currency, but I choose to have it on the menu here as well. As you can see, 1 through 0 are taken up, so anything pinned afterwards has no assigned number hotkey. So if login reward, for example, is something I want to pin, and I want this to be assigned to a number, I will unfortunately not be able to just move it up. I'll need to unpin at least 2 things to move it up to use number 0, for example. I'll right click Monster Zone info, unpin, right click find party, unpin, and now I could choose to re-add these by pinning them, but my login reward now has a number hotkey. This is not perfect by any means, but hopefully this is something you're only having to do once. And again, if you do find something that you want to add later, you can use the search. I'll just do rankings and click here. I'll click escape a few times to get back to the menu, and now I can right click and pin rankings if I wanted to. And that's really all I wanted to cover in this guide. I have a previous video on setting up your UI you might be interested in, but I'm someone that likes my screen to have only the information that I want on it. That's why I wanted to make a guide on the menu and the chat window to help you decide exactly how you want to see or not see all of the information coming into this game at once. There is a lot of it. I like it simple. I choose to turn off all of the many notifications that normally by default pop up in the middle of your screen. Again, check out my best settings to use guide if you're interested in finding out more about that. But you absolutely can have all of the information on your screen at once if that's how you prefer to play the game. Personal preferences are personal. There is absolutely no right or wrong way to do this. If this did help you get started in the right direction at least, consider clicking like. Leave any further questions you may have in the comments below. Consider checking out my live stream when I'm on. But until next time, I'll see you later.